politely refuse the search, and force them to meet the legal standard. And just because you say no doesn't mean they'll stop. It usually means they'll start bluffing. Sticking with my example of...
And that's what I mean, like, man, cops get away with harassing people all the time, man. It's like, just because you work for the law don't mean you're not supposed to abide by the laws or follow the laws, bro. Like, don't use your authority over people, man, because you're a human being just like us. And
I know sometimes you get frustrated, but you can't let the devil win. It's all cause of him. I lost a couple of my friends, but Yahweh made me a better man. Spitting bars for the kingdom, man. I can do it through Philippians. I can do all things through Christ. That's the reason that I'ma win. Yeah.
Hey, man, say, man, what it do, man? Welcome to Freestyle Friday, man. I'm your host, JustNatebtw, by the way, man. And as you guys can see in the thumbnail and the title, man, we will be reacting to 25 tricks that cops use that they don't want your black ass to know. Like, they don't want us to notice things. It's like tactics, little schemes they got, man. But if you're not a criminal, man, you don't got nothing to worry about, man. So, hey, if you're a person that's just out here in the world being a good civilian, man, like me, man, you ain't got nothing to worry about, man. 25 tactics that cops don't want us to know, man. Get whatever you need for this video, man, and sit back, relax, and let's react, man. We're gonna dive in.
This is 25, and today I'm counting down 25 tricks cops don't want you to know. Starting with the question they ask, just to get you to confess without even realizing it.
Let's get it.
Now, let's get one thing clear before I dive in. I'm not saying everyone's a criminal and police aren't the bad guys, but for today's list, I'm taking a look at some of the tactics they're allowed to use. For instance, you should know that when a cop pulls you over and casually asks, "Do you know why I stopped you?" It's not just small talk. It's a loaded question designed to get you to confess to something,
Right.
even if they don't have solid evidence yet. A lot of people panic and blur out against, like, "Was I speeding?" Or, "I didn't mean to run the stop sign," thinking it'll score points for honesty.
Yeah, man, never panic. When you get pulled over, never panic. That's where people go wrong at. They panic, man, before they even figure out what's going on.
It doesn't. It just hands them an easy confession they can use against you. The smartest move? Keep it polite.
Only panic, man, if you just got done smoking a weed in the jail, you got a blunt lit, you ready to get pulled over and there's smoke on the car. Then you might need to panic, motherfuckers, because you shouldn't be driving and smoking anyway. You need to do better out here.
And say,
"No,
officer." That way, you're not giving them anything to work with. But they're not always fishing for words. Sometimes they're fishing for permission, too. If a cop asks, "Mind if I take a look in your car?" It might sound friendly, but don't be fooled. If you say yes, you've just given up one of your biggest protections. In 1973, the Supreme Court ruled that police don't have to tell you that you can refuse a search, and cops have used this rule ever since. They know most people feel nervous or pressured and say yes, even when the officer has no warrant or probable cause. And once you agree, anything they find is fair game. So don't guess, don't assume. Politely refuse the search and force them to meet the legal standard. And just because you say no doesn't mean they'll stop. It usually means they'll start bluffing. Sticking with my example of...
And that's what I mean, like, man, cops get away with harassing people all the time, man. It's like, just because you work for the law don't mean you're not supposed to abide by the laws or follow the laws, bro. Like, don't use your authority over people, man, because you're a human being just like us. And the terrible... Now in 2025, the tables can turn. There's been officers getting locked up a lot recently, man.
Pulled over, you should know one of a cop's favorite tricks is giving you what sounds like an order. They'll say something like, "I need you to pop the trunk," or, "If you don't let us in, we'll just get a warrant." It feels official, but it's really a maneuver disguised as authority. Threatening to apply for a warrant is legal if they've got some reason, but pretending they already have one is illegal. They're betting you'll cave without realizing you can refuse. Don't fall for it. If they truly had evidence of your guilt...
It's sad, bro, that cops can do illegal things, man, to trap you, bro. They lock you up and put you behind bars, man.
They wouldn't need your permission. Of course, when words and pressure aren't enough, they might just invent a reason to search anyway. Should a police officer ever walk up to you on the street and start chatting, doesn't mean you're stuck there. If you're not being detained or arrested, you have every right to leave. The thing is, they are not required to tell you that. And a lot of officers won't. They'd rather you feel unsure and stick around. If you're not sure what's happening, politely ask, am I being detained? If the answer is no, or if they dodge the question, you can walk away. You're not being rude. You're using your rights. Because sometimes all it takes is one tiny mistake to give them exactly what they need to go through everything you've got. Another sneaky method police employ is the knock and talk. You can also be sitting at home minding your own business when suddenly there's a knock at the door. It's the police. No warrants, no paperwork. They're just there for a friendly chat. They'll act like you have to open the door or let them in, but you don't. Without a warrant or some kind of emergency, they're just regular visitors knocking.
Right.
You can talk through the door or step outside, but don't invite them in. If you do, anything they see or smell in plain view can be used against you. Stay polite, but firm. No warrant, no entry. And remember, whether it's at your door, your car, or out on the street, their goal is the same. Find a way in. And if they can't talk their way there, they might just switch tactics and find a reason to arrest you instead. Sometimes a tiny thing like a broken taillight, yes, we're back to being in cars, or a missing insurance card is enough for an officer to flip the whole situation. If they really want to search you or your car but don't have the legal grounds, they might arrest you for something small just to make it happen. And yes, the Supreme Court signed
Just to get on your nerves for the day. Just to mess your day up, man. It's crazy.
off on this. In Atwater v. Lago Vista, 2001, a woman got handcuffed and hauled to jail for not wearing her seatbelt, a violation that normally just gets a fine. Once you're under arrest, even for something small, police can search you and parts of your car without a warrant.
Yep.
If it happens to you, don't resist. It won't help. Keep your cool, say as little as possible, and get a lawyer. Now, if arresting you doesn't seem like the right move, well, there's another classic trick they'll pull out next. Let's say you've done everything right so far. Stayed calm, stayed polite, refused to search. The next move some officers love to pull is claiming they smell something illegal. I smell weed, they'll say, even if you've never touched the stuff. And in a lot of places, well, that's all they need to start searching your car without asking.
And this is one that they used a lot, man, in the DMV area, man. Before they legalized weed, man, they would always try to use that tactic saying they smell weed when they pull you over. But now since weed legal, I think a lot of people been getting away with it, but I'm not sure. Comment down below, man. If you're still having trouble with that, man, let me know, man. It's crazy.
Again, courts usually back them up because smell is considered a probable cause. It's not fair, but it's hard to argue in the moment. If it happens, don't argue. Just hold your ground politely and take mental notes. Or better yet, record the encounter, because once that happens, you're building a case for later. Which brings me to our next one. Some officers will confidently tell you something that just isn't true. Like, it's illegal to film police, hand me your phone. Or, if you stay quiet, that's obstruction.
Man, they always try this, man. That's a lie.
Neither of those are true. You have the right to record public officials doing their jobs, and you have the right to stay silent, as long as you're not physically getting in the way. So if an officer makes a big threat, stay collected, ask if you're free to go, and don't unlock or hand over anything you don't legally have to. Then again, if scaring you on the spot doesn't work, their next move might be to invite you into their turf. If an officer ever says, hey, why don't you just come on down to the station to clear things up, treat that like a giant red flag. You're not under arrest, but once you're inside that little room, it sure won't feel voluntary. They don't have to read you your Miranda rights if you show up on your own, and a lot of people end up talking themselves into serious trouble. Police use the setup, the closed room, the ploy, to get you talking without all the protections you normally have. If they ask you in, ask back, am I a suspect? And can I bring a lawyer? If they dodge, well, you have your answer. But you don't even have to walk into a station for things to get tricky. Officers can also say, you're not under arrest, we just want to talk, and start asking questions right where you are. Since it's just a chat, they skip the Miranda warning, but every word you say is still fair game. A lot of people let their guard down thinking, well, if they didn't Mirandize me, well, this doesn't count. Trust me, it absolutely does. Police might even hold off on arresting you just to keep you talking. So if it feels like an interrogation, treat it like one. Stay calm, stay polite, and don't answer anything serious without a lawyer. Because the minute you start hinting you want a lawyer, the pressure game shifts into overdrive. The minute you even hint that you might want a lawyer, some officers will switch gears fast. They'll say things like, a lawyer's just going to slow us down, or if you lawyer up, I can't help you. They might even throw in a guilt trip. Innocent people usually don't mind talking. It's a tactic, and a good sign you should absolutely stop talking. They know that once you bring a lawyer, their job gets a lot harder. So, here's the move. Don't waffle. Don't ask, should I get a lawyer? Just say, I want a lawyer. That one sentence slams the brake on questioning, legally. Either way, after all that stalling, the next phase is pure psychology. You've probably seen it in the movies. Good cop, bad cop. It's based on something real called the Reed technique. The idea is simple. Wear you down with isolation, pressure you with accusations, and then offer a way out through a friendly cop who empathizes and understands everything you're going through. It's not about being evil, it's about getting a confession. But the problem is, it doesn't always catch the guilty. It's led to false confessions, like what happened with Na Chong, a teenager who confessed to a crime she didn't commit. So if the mood in the room...
Right, because they most likely 9 times out of 10, they harassed that teenager and pressured her, and that should be illegal, man, and cops do this all the time, man.
Flips from hostile to helpful, it's a strategy. Anyway, if mind games don't crack you, they'll try something even simpler. Pure exhaustion. One of the oldest tactics in the book is simply to wear you down. Some interrogations have dragged on for 12, 18, even 24 hours. And when you're exhausted, stressed, and desperate to sleep, you're a lot more likely to say whatever you think will end it. It's not some movie stunt either. DNA exoneration studies have shown that plenty of false confessions started with endless questioning. The longer they push, the more your memory and judgment take a hit. If you ever feel trapped in a room like that, you have the right to end it. Say, I'm exercising my right to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Then, stop talking. However, once you're tired enough, they might change their tune and offer you a so-called way out. You'll hear things like, help yourself out by confessing, or if you cooperate, the judge will go easy on you. Now, if you're in a heap of trouble, that might sound very tempting. But here's the catch. Police officers can't actually guarantee you anything. Only prosecutors and courts decide what happens, not the officers doing the questioning. Any promise they make isn't binding, and once you confess, you've handed them exactly what they need to charge you. Moving on, here's something a lot of people don't realize. Police officers are legally allowed to lie to you. A lot of people don't realize that here in the...
And that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Like, they should never be allowed to lie to you when it's illegal for you to lie to them. Ain't that something?
Police are legally allowed to lie to suspects during interrogations. They can say, we found your fingerprints. Your friend already gave you up. Or, there's video of you at the scene. Even if none of that's true. To make things worse, in Frazier v. Cupp, 1969, the Supreme Court ruled that lying about evidence doesn't automatically make a confession invalid. The problem? Hearing that they've got proof can make even innocent people panic and confess just to get it over with. Always remember, if an officer says they have enough evidence, there's no benefit in talking. It's not your job to prove them wrong. It's your job to protect yourself. Sticking with bluffs for the moment, made-up fingerprints and fake confessions aren't the only lies you have to watch out for. Police officers might tell you that someone picked you up out of a lineup or saw you at the scene, even if no one has. It's totally legal for them to make that up. In People v. Dominic, 1986, detectives told a suspect...
Man, this is crazy. Comment down below, man. If you got any crazy encounter story times that happened with you and a police officer, man, I would like to hear that, man. Comment down below, man. This is crazy, man.
The victim had ID'd him, even though she hadn't seen any photos yet. And he confessed. Now, lies aside, real eyewitnesses aren't always reliable either. Descriptions change, people mix up details, or they get steered towards a suspect without even realizing it. The bottom line is that just because the officer says someone pointed the finger at you, doesn't mean it's true. Don't let a fake story push you into giving a real confession. And they can lie about your friends too. They might casually say something like, "Your friend already told us everything," like it's no big deal. Suddenly, it's not just about you anymore. You start worrying about loyalty, about who's saying what, about saving yourself. And that's exactly the point. In People v. Dominic, detectives decided to go with this move, telling the suspect that his cousin had confessed. He hadn't, but just hearing it got the suspect talking. It's not just lying, it's playing you against the people you trust. Okay, let's talk about how even the way they ask a question can back you into a corner. Not every question is innocent. Some are designed to steer you toward a certain answer without you even noticing. They'll ask you things like, "Did you see the man in black and white overalls?" Not a man, which quietly suggests that guy definitely existed. Loaded questions are even trickier. "What time did you leave in the getaway car?" assumes you were even near the crime. These setups are built to...
Right, they be trying to throw questions like for you to convict yourself when you an innocent person, man. It's crazy.
Box you in and make you confirm details you might not even know about. If a question feels strange or unfair, that's your sign to slow down, think carefully, or better yet, keep quiet. Unfortunately, not every threat wears a badge or asks official questions. In serious cases, police sometimes plant an undercover officer or informant right next to you, in a jail cell, on the street, or even at work. In cases like these, you might think you're venting to another regular person, but every word is passed straight back to the cops, and it's perfectly legal. In Illinois v. Perkins, 1990, the court decided that Miranda rights do not apply when a suspect unknowingly speaks to an undercover officer. It's a sneaky move because you don't see it coming. The rule here? If you've been arrested or you're caught up in something serious, don't discuss anything with anyone you don't absolutely trust. However, when the police can't reach you directly, they might reach out to someone you'd never suspect. If someone in your circle gets into trouble, police might offer them a deal. "Help us and we'll go easy on you." That could mean wearing a wire, forwarding your texts, or just quietly reporting what you say. In Hoffa v. United States, 1966, the Supreme Court made it clear. If you share something willingly, even with a friend who's secretly an informant, it's fair game. It's a tough reality, but once the secret's out, you've lost control of it. So if someone you know suddenly gets a little too curious about your business, be cautious. Trust matters, but so...
Man, you don't trust nobody, man. Like, it's like everybody's out to get you, man. From the cops to your people at work to your boss, man, to your family members. It's like, man, who can you trust in this crazy world, bro? Like, man, don't trust the cops. Don't trust nobody, man. Everybody is just wicked, man.
Knowing when to keep quiet. Since I've covered how people close to you can turn informant, let me talk about how total strangers can do the same thing without ever meeting you. I've covered how strangers in jail cells and even your own friends can turn on you, but what about people you've never even met? These days, you don't need to be sitting across from someone to get set up. Cops are all over social media, watching public posts, joining private groups, and even sliding in your DMs with fake profiles. That random new follower could be an undercover account gathering evidence. In New York City, officers used fake Facebook profiles to track gang suspects.
This is why I don't get why, like, people made it cool to, like, post, like, stuff on social media, like guns and drugs and all this illegal stuff, and rap about their crimes, man. I'll just be like, man, these people are stupid, man. Like, do they not know, like, the police used social media to, like, lock people up, man? I think people just don't care at this point, man, which is, I guess, I don't know why you wouldn't care about your freedom, your life, man, but I don't know, man. Just gotta pray, man, and do better, man, as a whole, man.
And even made arrests. And it's not just bragging that gets people into trouble. Sarcastic jokes can be twisted, too. I think it's safe to say that if you wouldn't say it to a cop's face, well, it's safer not to post it at all. Strange internet things aside, cops still love the old school approach too. Police love a good sting operation. They'll pose as drug buyers, sex workers, or shady dealers to see who bites. Stings are legal, but entrapment, tricking someone into committing a crime they wouldn't normally commit, isn't. The line gets blurry fast. If an officer keeps pushing and begging you to do something illegal, that could count as entrapment. But if you jump at the chance, well, that's on you. There have been some ugly cases where cops pushed vulnerable people way too far. The safest move? If a stranger is too eager to get you to break the law, walk away. Luckily, in most cases, setups aren't complicated, but there are some that can be compared to Hollywood productions. Have you ever heard of the Mr. Big saying? It was dreamed up in Canada, of all places. If you've been targeted, the police don't just target you with an undercover cop, they'll build a whole fake criminal empire around you. You get recruited, sent on fake jobs, paid real money, and treated like you're part of the crew. Then, just when you're feeling all-important, you meet Mr. Big, the boss, who says you've got to confess to any serious crimes before you're fully trusted. Under pressure to impress, a lot of people spill everything. Some have even confessed to crimes they didn't commit. Canada's Supreme Court at one point stepped in and said these confessions have to be treated with major skepticism. The US and UK won't even allow stings like this, but they still happen in places like Australia and New Zealand. Alright, now that I've covered how police officers can squeeze suspects, let's talk about how they get information out of witnesses, too. And no, they don't just sit them down and ask, what happened? Instead, they use something called cognitive interview. It's all about jogging the memory without pushing too hard. They'll ask about random details, like what the weather was like, or what smells were floating around in the air, to get the brain working. Sometimes they'll even ask people to recall the events backwards, which sounds weird, but actually helps. It's not about tricking the witness, really. It's about getting more details by loosening up the memory. Still, memories can be messy, and even a confident eyewitness can remember things wrong. Bringing an end to the list, there's one last technique you should know about. It's called a kinesic interview, and it's less about what you say and more about how you say it. While you're answering questions, officers are trained to watch every twitch, glance, and fidget. Slumping in your chair, crossing your arms, rubbing your neck, all of these can be flagged as confession behaviors. Some departments even teach that liars look up and to the left when answering, even though modern research says that's not actually a reliable sign of lying. Still, these old-school tactics get used all the time. The real takeaway? If you're ever questioned, remember, police aren't just listening to your words. They're reading you. And after everything we've covered today, you can see just how much they're trained to spot or create an advantage. And that's a wrap. So, which of these tricks do you think is the most dangerous? Or did I miss one that you know about? Drop it in the comments, because we're always watching.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We're going to end the video right there, man. Comment down below, man. Have you had any crazy encounters with a cop, man, or any officers, man, in your past or recently, man? I would like to know how it went, man. Did it go good? Did it go bad, man? Was you harassed by the cop, man? Did they read your Miranda rights, man? Did they abide by the laws, man? I would like to know that, man. But yeah, man, enjoy y'all Friday, man. Have a safe weekend, man. God bless, man. I see y'all in the next one. We out, man.
And I know sometimes you get frustrated, but you can't let the devil win. It's all cause of him.